There are many ways to actually clean up your strings, not just the specific ones that we have here. Cleaning up strings is just about working with strings. You can see that all the different things that we can do with strings, including working with in the different array functions that we have here, the different string functions that we have, and even in the more strings where we deal with regular expressions and formatting and things like that. There are many ways to clean up strings, and just working with strings in general is very, very important. And oftentimes when you do clean up strings, sometimes you're just doing some trimming, and I'll just show you how to do that real quick. Ltrim, rtrim, and chop, as well as the global trim there. And what that does is, the trim is going to remove spaces from the left and the right. Any white space, extra white space you have, left and right, it's going to take that off immediately. That's trim. So it returns a string without any white space here, padded. And that can happen sometimes when your users put in data. Sometimes an extra space gets there, and then it won't match the first name. For example, if you put Brian space, it's not going to match Brian without a space. So white space does count. So the trim is going to be very nice there. Now Ltrim, that removes from the left, rtrim from the right, and chop is just an alias to rtrim, so it does the same thing. All right, in this example here, what I do is I use string replace in order to replace the spaces that we have here with non-breaking spaces, and that's what's going to get echoed out. But we're going to do the trimming first here, as you can see. And then when we go to echo it, the string without the spaces is returned, but in order to see that in the browser effectively, because extra spaces aren't going to be shown here past the first space that you have there in straight HTML, in order for that to show that you can see here, we just add non-breaking spaces by replacing. So that's something that you might do often. I do it quite often when I want to show something in the browser that is coming from the database or it's coming from some other area and it has multiple spaces in it. Then that string replace really, really is your friend. And that's another way to clean up strings. But Ltrim from the left, like you see, take those away. Right trim from the right, chop is the alias, and then trim is the global. Some languages don't have the trim, so you have to use both. You can trim in the database as well. You want to check out your database functions that you have, because you have functions there as well, and they help on that side. But PHP makes it easy to clean up things before it even gets to the database. And you can also clean up things in your database. If you have a bad set of data that you want to clean up, well, you can use PHP to do that. So that's pretty exciting. So you can go through this as you wish. It's not that complicated, not worth a 20-minute video to talk about. So we can continue with some of the other functions that we have.